Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to Angela Hill, the number 12 ranked UFC women's strawweight. Angela, good to see you. It's an interesting test for you in Amanda Ribas. She's racked up 4 straight wins and is 4-1 in the UFC. How do you like her as an opponent?
I like her a lot. I think that she is she's a good striker, but she does sit back a bit, and I think that's going to be something I can capitalize on. Just trying to draw out her attacks and make her a little tired by making her work. I know if you let her rest, then she can recharge and keep throwing bombs. So my goal is to just keep her on the back foot and keep her like swinging and missing, and then start to land my shots. But yeah, she's definitely a strong striker. A dangerous striker. So it's going to be fun to test myself against her.
What were your biggest takeaways from your last fight?
My biggest takeaways were that I do have decent wrestling. I was able to get her down there. But I need to work on keeping them down there. So that was my biggest goal with the ground game. But I think with the striking, I was just a little too meat-headed. I wanted to get in. I wanted to hit her so bad that she would just tap, tap, tap. And then as soon as I try to counter, she'd push, kick, and run away. And I think if anything, I wasn't respecting her power, but I should have been respecting the amount of taps she was able to land, because, I was missing and she was scoring. So I think being more conscious of that, being more conscious of either getting out of the way as opposed to just putting my hands up and expecting people to not count it, getting out of the way and being more elusive, being able to control the pace of the fight a bit more instead of just walking forward and stalking the whole time. Those are the things that I wish I had done better, and that what I worked on after that fight.
What did you think of the recent title fight between Zhang Weili and Rose Namajunas? Do you think that Rose deserved to win?
Yeah, I thought she won. Like, it's weird because I think if you weigh takedowns really heavily, then you would have saw it for Weili. But if you were looking at damage, if you were looking at who was really landing the more impactful shots, I think it was clearly Rose. I think Weili started coming back at the end, but I feel like Rose at least had the first like 2 out of 3 rounds, and then it was down to like the last round, in the final round, and I think she did enough to win it. But yeah, it was a really close fight, and you can't really be mad at that, especially when a challenger comes in to take the belt. A lot of times the challenger has to knock them out. They have to finish them. And somebody on Twitter actually said something interesting, that in the women's divisions, the belt only changes hands when someone gets finished. So it's good that I'm searching for these finishes, because if I go into a title fight expecting to win a decision, statistically, it's probably not going to happen. So yeah, I thought that was fair. I didn't think Weili ever put Rose in any serious danger. She never had her hurt. And if anything, Rose was doing that same thing, just tapping and outstriking her on the feet.
Aside from Zhang Weili, you fought a who's who of the top strawweights in your career. Is the Zhang fight one that interests you in the future, and how do you think it would go?
For sure. I almost had the chance to train with her, but it didn't work out. If I had trained with her, I'd be more reluctant to fight her, but because I haven't, then I'm like, yeah, let's go. I would be really excited to fight her. It's cool that she started wrestling. I started adding wrestling to my game too, and it looked like she really believed in it in that fight. So that was cool to see her evolution. I think it would be a great test, but I have to get past this girl first. Like, if you can't get past this girl, you're not even getting close to a fight with Weili. So I think that would be a fun fight, but I'm focusing on this girl before I look at any of those girls in the top 10.
You were scheduled to fight Amanda Ribas twice. Because of those cancellations, do you think that's a fight that's destined to happen at some point?
Yeah, I would have loved to fight her. I really felt like I had the tools to put her down, and I was devastated when they took that fight away from, or not took the fight away from me, but when they told me I wasn't gonna fight the day of the fight, like I had already had a great shakeout. I was hitting clean, everything was landing really hard. We had a solid game plan for that fight, and when it couldn't happen, I was really, really set on making it happen. She needed a couple weeks, then she needed to fight at 125, which I thought was unfair. And then they just took the fight off of the table. So unfortunately, it didn't work out. I think I would love to fight Ribas, but at 115, I don't want to fight her at 125. I'm not a big girl. Like I walk around at 125. But I really think that I could hurt her. And I think it was better for her to fight a grappler after her nasty knockout.
After this one, if you could pick any fight in the world, any fight, a dream fight, who would it be against?
In the world? UFC or other? Dream opponent. Man, I would love to welcome Joanna back into the rankings, the strawweight division. Like I would love that. I think that would be really fun. I always regret not sticking with Muay Thai a little longer before I went to MMA. And with Joanna, that's a Muay Thai fight right there. So I think it would be a real fun time. It would take me back to my Muay Thai roots. I have a lot of straight Muay Thai training partners now that I've been working with. So that would be my favorite next fight if I could pick.
As a commentator yourself, what did you make of Dominic Cruz's comments about his buddy DC in terms of commentary?
I think Dominic is uncomfortably honest, and he has no filter. And anyone who knows Dominic knows that that's how he is. And they weren't surprised, but they were disappointed. Like anyone who knows Dominic and DC, I think it was a little rude to say, but like Dominic doesn't care about being rude. If anything, if you have something to say about him, he'd rather you say it to his face than say it behind his back and then smile in his face. So so I think that's just Dominic showing his personality. Like that's who he is. And I thought it was really cute that they hashed it out with the camera there. I thought it was a really funny display of just the relationship that they've all had all these years of commentating together when Michael Bisping walks into. So you know, it's like family. It's like it's the holidays, basically. You have all your different strong personalities coming to a table together and hanging out, even though they probably wouldn't choose to, but they do, and they love each other. And yeah, I think it's if anything, it showed how close to family those guys actually are.
Okay, slight change of tack here, but I want to know what you enjoy most about being a UFC fighter.
Just I don't know, punching girls in the face. Sometimes kicking. And I don't know. I think it's cool that I feel like I'm working for myself. Obviously, I have to wait for a matchup. I have to get a contract. I have to impress the promoters and the fans and everyone. But when I wake up in the morning, I decide what I'm going to do. I decide where I'm going to train, if I'm going to train, how long I'm going to train. And it's really cool being able to make your own schedule. It does put a lot of responsibility on you, because I could show up to this fight totally out of shape and I'd still get my show money, you know? So I have to push myself and I have to make myself do better and be better. So it's pretty cool because I feel like an entrepreneur, and I feel like I'm paving my own way, and I feel like it's merit based, which a lot of regular jobs, it's not merit based. It's based on who you know, or based on what you look like, or based on, you know, whatever situation you were born into. And I think it's cool that in MMA you can get past that. Like obviously there's going to be some biases, but you can always get past that, and you see it all the time. So yeah, I think that's the best part, the fact that you you work hard and you reap the benefits, and that doesn't always happen like in the corporate world, or even when you just have a small business, is you're not always lucky with that. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay, any fighter in the world, actually any fighter in the UFC, who do you think is the most exciting right now and why?
I'll say Adesanya, because like I know it's like a casual answer, like casual MMA fan answer, but I do like what he brings to the table. I like that he does the showmanship. I like um that he goes in there and he doesn't grapple. He just strikes. I love that he can do that, that he can pull it off, because it's something that I've been trying to do, and it's not that easy. So I can appreciate the fact that he can do it against like top level competition over and over again. So yeah, I really enjoy watching him fight. I enjoy the walkouts. I enjoy the whole pageantry of how he presents himself. So yeah, I'll say he's the most exciting fighter right now for me.